Shawn Davis and his team at Duda pulled crawl data for thousands of websites, and the ones getting recommended by AI were getting crawled 33 times more than the median site. And the part that surprised me the most is how few designers are actually doing what those sites have in common. In this Web Agency Summit talk, Shawn's going to talk about what those sites are doing differently and how you can put them to work for your clients fast. Let's get into it.
We saw in our research that sites with 50 more pages earn 33 times more crawler visits than the median website. If we break that down onto types of pages, we see that while a normal page increases visibility by 4%, blog posts increase it by 7% across our data set of websites. There's a lot of very strong evidence that just creating more content is a very strong way to be recommended more often. Ideally, content that is answer focused. For an SMB, 50 pages might sound extreme, but it's worth thinking about asking your SMB clients the kinds of questions they receive from their customers, or asking about the kind of services they offer. If we create content around those things, unique pages for services, unique pages for, maybe for this mechanic, it is a page for hybrid vehicles. Maybe it is one for a specific type of vehicle. That can help a lot with ranking. Of course, this doesn't sound scalable. I promise scalable. So we can look deeper into what kind of optimizations there are. And we can see there's all kinds of stuff, right? One of the biggest needle movers was local listing integration. And so this is an app like Yext or Uberall that will share your content across the web, kind of a syndication technique. And we saw that when these were installed, Yext increased a 39 percentage point lift, while Uberall had a 29 percentage point lift in terms of how often these sites are crawled. Additionally, and you don't see this on the graph, review apps had a 31 percentage point lift. So showing reviews on sites seemed to move the needle a lot. We call this feature in Duda that we measured Google Business Profile Sync. However, this is not unique to Duda. What it does is it syncs the data we know in the website builder, the name, the address, the phone number, with Google Business Profile to make sure it's up to date. You can do that manually yourself, but the sync is nice. But having these things up to date, having a Google Business Profile, having it match the website, that was a 33 percentage point lift in terms of the amount of crawler visits now visible. We also saw an increase in local schema. That should come as no surprise. And then we saw an increase with a feature we call dynamic pages. If anyone's ever experimented with programmatic SEO, dynamic pages are essentially a way that people would do that. So it creates content from a table, and each row of a table correlates to a page. So that's a way to create a lot of pages very quickly. And why these work shouldn't be surprising, right? There should be a theme that SEOs would pick up on here, is that this sounds a lot like local SEO, just with more. And that is what we're seeing with AI too. EEAT still matters. We talked about the review app or putting reviews on the site, increasing crawlability, or how often these sites are crawled, and that is very much a part of EEAT. We talked about these pages. We talk about being consistent with the data across multiple sources. These are all things that local SEO has always said. We're just seeing in our numbers that it requires more. And it requires agencies be a little more thoughtful about it, a little bit more intentional about adding this more content, and offering these services to their SMB clients who maybe couldn't do this stuff on their own. And unsurprisingly, these optimizations compound. So, we saw this stuff. We're like, what's the lowest hanging fruit? What can an agency offer to their SMB today that gives them the highest crawl rate improvement with the least amount of effort? And for us, we saw it was installing a blog and having some nice articles pretty frequently written in an answer format, setting up local schema and filling out the schema completely, having a Google Business Profile and syncing that business profile. And for us, using the dynamic page feature, although any kind of programmatic page creation would work here. And that is making sure there's pages for all of your clients' services, having pages for all of their unique offerings. And by building upon all of these optimizations, we saw those sites received 4 times higher crawl rates than the median website built on Duda. So this was a very easy thing that agencies can implement today for their clients to get more recommendations from AI.
If you enjoyed this video, you've got to check out Sam Sarson's talk on 2 surefire ways to get design clients. They're genius. My name is Atarim, and I'll catch you in the next one.